then we hit our groove, and to quote Maggie Cartwright, we hit our groove, and and off we went. So overall, we sit here, I think, fourth, right? I think that's where we end, and it's a pretty significant achievement, I think, in such a difficult year. How did you feel?
No, I agree with you 100%. I think it was a really fun year, especially I'm a junior now, so looking back at the past 2 years that I've been here, it's been awesome to see such improvement with all of us. We have such a big competitive field in the gym every single day, and I think that it's helped us a lot just up our game, as weeks go on. And like Coach said, it's been kind of a challenging season. We've had to work through some adversities with, COVID restrictions and stuff like that, but everyone's has had a great attitude throughout the season. I think it's helped us really reach our goal this year. And, I was going to list some of my favorite moments, but first I want to ask you, what are your 1 or 2 favorite moments of this season? Maybe some favorite wins?
Yeah, I like all of the wins. Yeah, I think all of them. Yeah, I like those. Wasn't as much a fan of the losses.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me because I don't know if I have like this 1 or 2 moments. I do think. I think there were some events. I think in the fall, I think that A&M series, I think that kind of defined how we felt about the fall. And I thought that was a big series for us here in Bartlett. So I was nervous going into that one.
Yeah.
And, I felt like that was a good series for us. And then I thought the early road trip to Georgia, that was going to be probably a defining road trip for us. Especially we played at 7, and then we had to come back and play at 8. And that was such a long
Played at like
day.
midnight.
Yeah, it was such a long day, and so I thought that series was pretty good for us.
Yeah.
And then we ended. I thought, we battled Tennessee and then come back. I think it showed a lot of character to come back after that first night in Tennessee, and then to be able to close out at home in South Carolina. So I don't know if there's one moment. I just think that those series were pretty defining for us.
Yeah. No, I was going to say definitely the Texas A&M one was big for us, especially in defining kind of the rest of our season. That was probably one of the games in the fall that we were most amped up for and nervous for. And so just to see us battle through that and come out with 2 wins was really exciting for us. I definitely was going to pinpoint the Tennessee and LSU game because I think those weekends that we had were, we both had a disappointing loss in each weekend, but it, especially the Tennessee weekend, it showed a lot of character from our team to come back because, I was talking to you at one point, it's hard, the way our season was set up this year was hard to win twice in a row, especially with these SEC teams. A lot of these SEC teams were doing great this year, so I think after playing Tennessee and losing that first night, that was a big defining moment for us to, come back. We had a really good film session. We had some good dialogue as a team, and we just showed up that next day. And, we flipped the script. Your quote, Jay Watt's quote. So we flipped the script that day, and that was, I remember talking to some teammates, and, we were super excited about that. It wasn't what we wanted the first day, but I think that it was really good to walk out of that gym that second day and know that we could do it. We could flip the script that day. So my next question is looking back at the past 2 years, well, because I'm in the interview, it's all about me.
Yeah, fair enough. As well it should be.
Looking back at the past 2 to 3 years, what do you think is different about us and our team this year versus our past seasons?
Yeah, we could get into the weeds, right? I think we were talking about that a little bit earlier. We could get into some numbers and we could get into the weeds, and I like that stuff, but I think it's incredibly boring if you're not into it. So I think one of the areas that we focused on, certainly in coming out of the 19 season, is we've put a little bit more emphasis on serving, I think, and more freedom to be able to go hit your serve and hit it tight. And we spend very little time talking about errors with that. We we got some feedback on the amount of errors that we were having. I mean, people like to give us feedback on that area, but we don't care. And so I think that's whoever, right? It's just it's one of the things right? It's either got to go in or it's out, and so that's how it goes. But so I think that's been good. I think you commented on it earlier. I think it's pretty significant. Is that it's probably easy to create depth on a team. Like you can recruit depth, but it's a little bit different when you recruit competitive depth, where that depth is competing for a finite number of resources, like 6 or 7 players on the team, and that's uncomfortable. I think that's uncomfortable for athletes, but I think it's healthy in order to get improvement going. And I think our team has done a really nice job of it. It hasn't always been comfortable, but I think that competitive depth has helped us immensely. So I think that's a big key in what's happening this season and seasons to come.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's been exciting, especially as now an upperclassman, to see. I was talking to my freshmen a couple months ago, and the freshmen that have come in just have created such an amazing competitive atmosphere for us. And I think that's helped us a lot. Like their energy in the gym has been awesome, and we've all talked about that as a team a lot. How much the freshmen have contributed to kind of our change in culture a little bit, and our change in mentality when we come in the gym every day. So I was talking to them the other day, and they've been huge this past year for us. But going into next year, what do you think we can do in keeping this progression going with our team?
Yeah, and I think as we look to transition out of this, and we're hoping, of course, that we still get to play some more this year. I think it's this evolution of team. I think we talk a lot about team. I think we talk a lot about trust, and we hope they don't become cliche things, But I think that's the evolution of this team. Can we? When I look at us, Gracie, I think there's lots of times where we just out-team people, like just being good teammates and trusting each other and the way we play. Because we do play a lot of volleyball in practice, but that the evolution of, hey, we're going to continue to work on being the best team we can be and out-team people. I think that's really important. And of course we want to pass and serve and set and do all of those things, but slam balls, work on overpasses, and
we want to slam it harder next year.
Yeah, we really wish Jill would work on that.
We need Jill to slam it harder.
Yeah, I wish she could jump high and hit harder. But yeah, I think that's where we're going. What do you think? Where do you think we need to go?
No, I think I agree with you 100%. We talk a lot this year. We really keyed in on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the quote, like being good in the long run.
Yeah, good over time.
Being good over time, that's a big goal for us, and I think as the season's gone on, we've gotten a lot better at that. Based on my experience, my first 2 years, that was definitely something as a team we struggled with. I know I struggled with a lot, being good over time with my setting and consistency. So we've each seen a lot of improvement, especially within ourselves in our own game, and doing our jobs really well. And I think that it's just every single person getting really good over time in the long run at their jobs has all contributed to this progression we've seen this year. And I think that continuing to get better at that is going to help us a lot going into next year. So I'm excited. For.
Well, so I'm going to be pretty upset if you're not all SEC this year. I'm going to throw that out there. So I'm going to be pretty upset about that.
SEC is 16.
No. I don't think we have 16. I don't know if we go that deep. So let's just. So what is your game? I mean, you started, last season you're in that 6-2 and some things, and now you had to work and compete and get into this 5-1, and we're completely comfortable with that, clearly, but how has that been for you? I mean, that's a big responsibility.
It was definitely, especially coming from freshman and sophomore year not running. I was nervous that game because it had been a while since in a game like, actual game I had run a 5-1. But I think that just over time, especially with the more experience, I loved every part of it. And Hannah wasn't here yet in the fall, but Jordan was here, and she's been a huge part of like how hard I push myself, and she's helped me immensely. Like you said, the competitive depth on this team has been insane, and it's helped each one of us do our jobs so much better than we have in the past. And I've seen that in myself a lot. I feel like, looking at the progression from myself now from the past 2 years, like I've just seen a lot more consistency within myself, and it's been a really positive outlook for me, and I've loved it. So transitioning in the beginning was interesting, and it was an adversity to work through. But running a 5-1 as a setter, as I'm sure you've obviously had experience.
It was a long time ago.
Just a couple of games or something.
It was a long time ago.
Like All-American over here.
It was a long time ago. It was before you were born. So I don't even know if it counts, right?
Did you go SYU?
Yeah.
No, but it was cool to, I think running a 5-1 just gives you a different connection with all of your teammates on the court, off the court. I think it helps your momentum a lot. 6'2", understand the purposes of that, but being in a 5-1 as a setter, I think it helps you understand your place better on the court. And so it's been a really exciting year, and I've loved transitioning into that, and I'm excited to, I know us three setters have been working a lot and helping each other out on a lot of different stuff, so I think it's been a great culture for us.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, I think, that if you go with this 5-1 and only you have three setters, or in the fall we have two, and only one of them gets the nod, sort of thing. Yeah. And I think it speaks to how people deal with that. And that there's some disappointment, but that disappointment isn't funneled at you being resentful. Yeah. I think they generally want the team to succeed. They want you to succeed. And they're going to work really, really hard, of course, to get it. So I think that's been otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? It just doesn't work at all.
No, that's been huge. And I will definitely testify to this. I mean, out of all the teams I've been on my whole life, the amount of encouragement we have from each person on this team, especially our own positions, has been like unlike any other. I mean, it's from every position. We have the libs that have a lot of people competing to be libero, and we have a lot of outsides, and no matter who gets the nod, like all of us have been on that sideline cheering for each other each and every game, each and every practice, and that's something that is really rare in a lot of teams. It's something that's really rare, and it makes a huge difference. You talked about earlier in some of those big games, just out-teaming teams, and that stuff makes all the difference. You got your teammates on the sideline or on the court. Who doesn't really matter. We all really were big encouragers of each other.
Yeah, when you get out there and you're competing, it's a stressful environment. You want to feel good. You want to feel good about the team. So, how much film do you watch?
I watch more film on other setters than I do myself. So I don't watch a ton of film on myself. I definitely do, but I actually like watching a lot of other setters because I don't know, I feel like I do better when I can memorize more of talk about Carly Lloyd, I love her mechanics and stuff. I just like muscle memory of other setters that I think do the job really well. So I probably watch more film on other setters than I do myself.
Yeah, we made that little bit of a switch where we've gone away from that video feedback, video demo sort of thing where you get to watch. We want you to go watch other really good players do what they do.
Right, I remember you guys introduced that in the video.
And go mirror it. And so hey, thanks for listening.
No, I love
some moments we weren't sure anyone was
in.
listening to us, so they were like, yeah, he's completely lost it, right?
It was just myself. All right, Grace, 6 double. Let's watch the 7th double that you...
No, that's not
I'm
that.
just kidding.
It's more of a lift.
Yeah.
But
Gracie Ryan, SEC award for most lifts. Setter with the most lifts.
Well, they were good decisions, but
Yeah.
and they justified
Just
the
below
lift.
the chin.
They justified the lift. I mean, I would have done it.
Yeah.
I would have done it.
There's
That's how I
definitely a
grade
bias
most
there.
things.
I mean,
Would
I know
have
it's
set
like
that
below
ball?
my shoulders, but I feel like,
That's how I do it. Would I have set that ball?
yeah.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah.
I feel like I should have gotten the credit for the effort. I don't know. I just,
Our sport doesn't do that
No,
so much. There's
no.
it's either a point. There's no
not,
judgment
yeah,
value
there's not.
on that.
I just didn't negotiate.
Yeah.
It's like, Coach, challenge.
I don't. Yeah, we can't challenge mechanics. So we're good. I was going to say something else, but I've lost it completely on that. Talking about our setter who lives. So we here we sit, right? We sit at fourth place in the SEC. Selection show is Sunday the 4th. It's a reduced field, 48. I don't know how you feel, but I think if we were at a 64 team tournament, I think we'd be feeling pretty good about our body of work, given that we didn't get any non-conference. But what are you thinking?
I think we've kind of talked, I've been talking to some teammates about this stuff, and, we're really excited about what happened this season, and, it is unfortunate, just given everything that's happened this year, to have the reduced field of candidates for the tournament. But, I think no matter what happens, we're super excited to see what happens in, April 4th when the selection show is. But I think we've had a lot of discussions as a team. Like, no matter what happens, we have a lot of work to do coming up this next year. And I think we feel good. I'm not really good about the logistics of how the NCAA tournament works all the time. So,
No one is.
we've been kind of on edge because we've been trying, let's do Excel spreadsheets and see, it was funny. I was talking to some people. We were trying to put stuff together and, this person, you know what I mean? We need this person to lose.
Yeah, that's tends to be where it goes.
The pressure is definitely there. We're trying, we're definitely biting our fingernails a little bit, but we're excited. I mean, we have a lot of hope, and but we're also in the stage where, no matter what happens, we're going to be excited for this coming season, no matter what. But we're hoping. I mean, it's a big. We feel the pressure a little bit, so we're just kind of over here twiddling our thumbs.
Yeah, it's a strange place to be right now, especially
Uncomfortable.
because it's such a long time between now and that selection show. So
Yeah.
we're putting in the time to prepare. So if we do get the nod, we don't want to not be prepared and have some regrets, But regardless, I mean, no one can take away the body of work that we've done, and just how far we've moved the needle here, from being selected 9th to finishing 4th, and it's a pretty. It's been a while since Arkansas volleyball's been involved in the SEC. And we get to do it all again next year.
Yeah, we're
This
really
is the
excited.
greatest redshirt year ever. You get to play 22 matches and move the needle and get to be great. And
I was thinking of that Wolf of Wall Street scene where he goes, "I'm not leaving."
yeah. I'm not sure I'm familiar with the movie, but I'm sure it's a great. It's
I'm not gonna finish the rest of the scene. I just cut it up there.
Okay, we'll cut it there, and I'm sure it's an outstanding quote.
Yes. Leo, he really knows how to hit his audiences.
Fair enough.
All right,
So
guys.
we good?
Yep.
Good. Hey, well, thanks for joining us, and we hope we get to play more volleyball, and that'd be great. And but if not, it sure is fun getting to coach Gracie Ryan. That's for sure. We have a good time.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. We hope you stay tuned in to what we do the next couple months and going into the fall especially. But we'll keep you updated on the selection show, and go Hogs! Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. You got to end with that.